is COVID responsible for really kind of derailing the progress of what used to be the Madison Arts Council, right? To what is now the Alliance, and was, kind of could speak to how it ended up in the state it was, that caused you to kind of come in and have to revitalize it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it being an all volunteer base, which I want to get it to the point that, we do have paid positions because it's a lot of work.
Right.
To have nice things, we really need to have those paid positions. And that's why we're pushing on getting the 501c3. And it being all volunteer based, people are busy. Their lives, they've got their own careers and families and everything. And, volunteer based sometimes gets pushed to the side. So it kind of, and with COVID, it just amplified, the isolation and the lack of events. And then I reached out to the former president and just said, hey, I hadn't seen any events, I'd love to help. And she had been doing it a long time and was ready to pass it off. So that's really how it happened.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems now it seems very logical or obvious that of all the people I've had on that are representing a nonprofit, the one thing in common is at least one position was full-time or paid.
Right.
It's their job. Mm-hmm. And you can obviously see the effect on, of course it's a good thing. And I was talking about this with Renee, mm-hmm. and the episode is just as far as there's so many good things out there, whether those are just programs, and we were kind of talking about how there might be people who are critical of their local government on not doing X, Y, and Z. And then I was telling her, well, those people should probably go to a council meeting so they can have a better understanding of all the things that we would love to get done. And they're all good things, but mm-hmm. there's only so much money, or there's only so many people that can, help make those things come to pass. And if you're going to complain, then help out. Right, just be one extra volunteer.
Absolutely.
But then that person sometimes may be in a point of life where, like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then their circumstance changes, mm-hmm. and then they can't. And so, all of these nonprofits and these organizations have to have at least one full time, if not two, right, to really make things hum.
Absolutely.
And go.
Mm-hmm. And you're spot on with that. We really shouldn't have an excuse as to why we don't know what's going on locally, because, the city council meetings are put on YouTube.
That's right.
And you can go and attend. It is, if you're really passionate about something, you need to show up. And the council meetings I have gone to, there's maybe 20 people in the audience.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I really believe that your local politics affect you a lot of times more than national. Because that's your schools, that's your roads, that's, traffic lights and greenways and all of those things. I really believe that you need to know what's going on locally and voting locally. The turnout for voting just isn't always there. We really, as citizens, all need to take that seriously.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I would refer people back to episode 80 with Renee, because we talk about this low voter turnout and such. And she said, she was talking about how she will talk to, college kids can be somewhat of a disadvantage because they're registered to vote back where they live,
right?
Somewhere in the state. Let's say they're in state and they're up at UAH, but they're from wherever, Dothan or I don't know, and they can't make it home to vote, that type of thing. But if you survey young people, or I shouldn't say just young people, they'll vote in the presidential elections. They'll vote in the gubernatorial election, but they won't necessarily in local. And she's like, but you have it, like, you're going to see me at the store. You're going to see me, her being, Renee saying, mm-hmm. you're going to see me at the football games. Like, you have access to me mm-hmm. far more than the president or the governor, who you're never going to meet.
Absolutely.
And it's just so counterintuitive mm-hmm. in a way. Like, you actually have a chance to have a say in politics. And okay, let's just say you didn't vote for her and you voted for someone else. Well, you go to the meeting, go to the council meetings, you know, brief the council, give
Right.
your presentation, have your voice heard.
Right. And one of the advantages for me in doing this and being able to get it done pretty quickly is I know all of the city council people and the
Yeah.
mayor and the park and Corey offered with Parks and Rec. I have relationships with these people. And I also have relationships with artists and business people. I was able to call and get sponsors for the Sounds of Summer concert series very quickly. Those sponsors really are kind of the backbone of local events.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to really look at those banners and logos and who is supporting. Because we all need to be really aware of which businesses. Redstone is one. They constantly are sponsoring something.